What's up, guys? Spin Firearms here, and there are a lot of great handguns out there that are a little bit older that we still like, right? For instance, for me, I love the Springfield Armory XDS. This is the Mod 1. I love this thing. It comes with a 7-round mag, also an 8-round mag, as well as a 9-round mag. So if you want a little bit more capacity out of it, you can make this a total of 10 rounds in a setup. To me, that's just plenty. But on top of that, it's small enough to where you can pocket carry it. Another one of my favorites, simply because of how reliable it's been, how shootable, and just because I love the Shield Performance Center series, is this $350 pickup that I got, the M&P 9 1.0 Performance Center. I absolutely love this thing. Obviously, it's a little bit older, therefore, it's not Optics cut as well, right? But it was such a great deal, I had to pick it up. I know they have the Glock 26 Gen 5 MOS out there, but I have a Glock 26 Gen 5 without an Optic cut. One of my favorite handguns. This setup is almost complete. The one thing I want to do is add an Optic on it. And yes, that's the back plate. And if you have a problem, it is what it is, guys. Just like people are going to have a problem with that, I don't care. My beliefs are my beliefs. That's the point of America. The fact that people cry about this being on the back of my handgun, it's a joke. Absolute joke. Anyways, back to the handgun. Love the setup. This is one of my main carries, my Glock 26 Gen 5 MOS. Obviously, it's cleared. This thing is really getting up there in round count as I've started to put tons and tons of rounds through this specific Glock 26. I have like 13 or 14 of them now, but this one has been a favorite of mine. Next up, the Glock 19X. Before there was the new version, the Optics Ready version, or the version with the threaded barrel, the Lipsies version, whatever the case may be, there was this, Glock 19X without an Optics cut. And yes, this has the Radian Ramjet in it, and that review is coming soon as well. Check that thing out. So what are all these missing? An Optics cut. That's where a company like Dove comes in. This is a new pickup of mine that I found. One, I could send all these handguns away to be cut for an Optic, right? But I'm not always sure that I want something to be cut for an Optic, or that I'm always going to run a dot on it, or whatever the case may be. And one thing I'm good at is doing sights. I've replaced sights on every Glock I've ever got, as well as Smith & Wessons and other handguns alike, right? So that's something I'm pretty good at. The one thing you can do, if you have an older handgun like the XDS or the Shield, and yes, I'm actually carrying that right now, as that's it going into a holster. But I absolutely love the Shield. You can get something from Dove. Now what it is it is an Optics plate mount that goes in your Dove rear sight, right? So right here, this is what the package comes with. It comes with this plate, and it's a relatively thin plate. Look how thin that is. So obviously this will slide in where your sights go, right? Your rear sight. Then you're going to have a specific plate, what it's cut to. This one right here is cut for an RMR or an RMSc, and this is for my Shield. So this would go on my Shield. And like you saw, it has a very, very thin plate to try and minimize how high that dot sits. But now that you're missing a rear sight, in order to co-witness, it comes with a front sight picture. Maybe I'll rip this open just to let you guys see it a little bit better. But look how thin that is. And a front sight, right? So you now can co-witness. On top of that, in the package, depending on what you order, I got the tritium front sight for my Shield. So this Shield is going to have a tritium yellow front sight, which is what I like on a lot of my handguns. And I'm going to have an Optic. And you can see that, yes, it's going to sit above the slide. But it's not going to sit too bad, right? It is what it is. And what's nice is you can always remove this and go back to your rear sights. You can always go back, keep this front sight in there. It is what it is, right? But really, really cool. And if you know, removing your rear sight is pretty dang easy. And what's nice is I can mount a Shield RMSc. I actually have the Shield that I've been testing on my Mossberg MC2SC. This is the Polymer Edition, and I absolutely love it. It is one of the smallest dots out there on the market, one of the clearest dots, and I absolutely love it. I mean, look how low profile that is. So even though it is going to be sitting above the slide, with how thin that is, this is a very, very minimal red dot. That means this Optic is going to be pretty dang perfect. It's a 4 MOA, and this is going to be the aluminum version. This is extremely low sitting, therefore it won't be absolutely terrible on the Shield. You know what? We could even go ahead and maybe check out how that is going to look. But anyways, then for the Glock 19X, I don't know if I want to cut into that slide. I sort of like it as is, but I might want to run an optic on it for a little bit. I'm not 100% sold on carrying this. I don't carry it. But right here, we have a Glock dove sight, or dove plate, right? And that's for the 509T, one of the best overall dots that you can get. Now, let's see. If I get this shield out, see how small it is. It is a very, very thin sight, very small sight. So putting this on here is going to sit, you know, just a little off like that. That's what it's going to look like. Not terrible. If you've ever seen the Glock MOS system, it's going to be about similar to that in height. And the shield being such a small sight, this is the perfect setup, putting a shield on a shield. So it's going to be sitting there like that. That's the exact height. Plus on top of that, what's nice is you're going to have this front or this rear sight in front of that dot. Look, and it's just going to lock in perfectly with this plate. Look at that. Boom. Woo! That is cleaner than I thought it would be. I'm actually pretty dang impressed right now. That's actually pretty dang sick. And what's nice is you can get all the optics and stuff like that from their website. Now, I know there's going to be people like, oh, heck no, nothing wrong with irons, or just get it sent away. And that's fine. Those are all options as well. I'm just saying there are other options out there like this. And that's going to allow me to mount stuff without ever having to send my handgun away, wait the waiting time, which isn't a big deal. But at the same time, I don't know if I want to get all my stuff optics cut. There's some stuff I just like running irons on, and I'm not 100% sure that I always want to run a dot. So that's one way you could do it. It's just another option. There's nothing wrong with options out here. The more options, the better we are off as a community. And also, the better we are to each other. Also, the better off as a community we are. We look pretty sad when we're always talking crap and hating on each other's stuff. Then on top of that, I have a Glock 30S coming. And I don't have the box on it, but I'm going to be mounting a 407K to the Glock 30S. And people were wondering, how strong are these dove mounts, right? How strong could they be if they're going to just be sitting in your rear sight spot, right? How strong are they? So I thought I would do a Glock 30S. That is a thinner version of a Glock 30, at least where the slide is. And it's chambered in 45 ACP. So being in 45 ACP and a smaller, technically according to Glock, it's a subcompact, a little bit smaller than a Glock 19, we are going to test some true power and see, will these mounts hold up? Will they do what they're supposed to? Will they last? And will they cause problems? Because getting a rear sight on and off is pretty dang easy. Therefore, I can go from irons to optics, and back and forth if I want with them. But what's also nice, like I showed you, is you can co-witness straight from that mount. And you're not going to have to worry about getting the right size rear sights and stuff like that. So that is Dove Adaptive Mounting Solutions. Just thought I'd try it. Why not? That's the point of this channel over here. Discover new things, try new things, trying to help people figure stuff out for their setups. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But just stay tuned. We're going to be running that Glock 30S and a bunch of these other setups. And I'll let you guys know, honestly, does it hold up? Is it a good product? So far, I'm pretty impressed. Thanks for watching, guys.